Welcome back to Charged Up, the official podcast of your Colby-Sawyer Chargers.
Innocent! Oh! He can't get away from him! Oh my!
My name is Tim Viola, and I'm filling in for Ashley Blashock this week on a special edition for Halloween of Charged Up. I will turn it over to Michaela Thornton after a few quick updates. Women's tennis has clinched the number 1 seed in the CNE for their very first year. Congratulations, women's tennis. They will be hosting Endicott in the semifinals tomorrow at 1 p.m. Field hockey has also clinched the number 3 seed in the GNAC playoffs after finishing 8-2 in the conference. The team is hosting University of St. Joseph's, Connecticut tomorrow at 12 p.m. Volleyball swept their latest tri-match against NEC and Mitchell by both games by 3-1 scores. The team would go on to sweep conference awards as Madison Sinatra won Libero, Bree Bacon Setter, Addison Sassonet Rookie, and Cameron Breakmeyer Player of the Week. Cross country heads to compete in the GNAC Championships this weekend, hosted by Norwich. Women's cross country goes into the meet tied for first, while men's cross country is ranked 5th in the pre-championship poll. Good luck, Chargers. Michaela Thornton would sit down with men's basketball head coach Shannon Shearia about what it is like to be back at Colby-Sawyer in his first season as head coach. Take it away, Mick.
My name's Michaela Thornton. I'm here with Shannon, who is our new men's basketball head coach. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and I just have a few questions for you.
Sure.
So the first one, how does it feel to be back at Colby-Sawyer as you were also a student athlete, the recruiting coordinator, and a coach here prior?
Yeah, to say that it's been amazing would be such an understatement. This was always my dream job, to be back here as the head coach. I owe this college and this program so much for my growth. I really came in to the program as a student athlete, as a young man, and I learned so much through my time with Bill Fody, who was the head coach here, and my teachers that I had here, that I was really pushed in all levels of being a better person, which has really been a roadmap for my whole life. I'm just so grateful for the opportunity. Jen McKillop gave me the greatest gift that you can ever give somebody, and that's believing in them. And for me to be back here and now be able to work with these young men and set them up in a position to be successful for the rest of their life, as Coach Fody did for me, has just been, truthfully, I wake up every day as the luckiest guy in the world. To wake up and have your dream job is, it's a really, really special thing. Not a lot of people get to say that.
Well, we're happy to have you back.
Thanks.
So diving into your coaching philosophy, how would you describe it as a whole?
Yeah, we want to do everything at a championship level every single day, and that's not just on the basketball court. That's in the classroom. That's in our community. That's the way we treat people. On an X's and O's side of things, we want to establish really kind of a blue-collar mentality where we get after it defensively. We want win or lose. We want every team when they're done playing us at the end of 40 minutes to say, "Wow, we don't really want to see that team again." They're scrappy. They're hardworking. They approach things really the right way, and they leave it all out on the floor. They empty the tank every single day or every single game. That's really important to me that that we empty the tank. And I tell the guys that all the time. The 4 years that you get to play college sports, it comes and goes really, really quick. And there's a lot of athletes out there that say, "Man, I wish I had one more practice," or "I wish I had one more season." And we never want our guys to be able to do that. We never want them to be able to look back and go, "Wow, I wish I would have done this a little bit harder. I wish I would have practiced a little bit, more." We want them to leave here in 4 years saying, I gave everything I could every single day, every single practice, every single game in the classroom and in the community.
Mm-hmm. I like that a lot, actually. You should talk to Emily Dudney. Wow. You guys are the same person. So what would you say your priorities are during your first off-season or preseason with this team?
Yeah, the first thing is establishing a really good culture, and I know that's kind of a buzzword, right, that everybody kind of throws around. But the way that I really define that is the first thing is I'm going to protect this brand, the Colby-Sawyer basketball brand and the Colby-Sawyer college brand as a whole. That's really, really important to me. That's the degree that I have, obviously. So our very first meeting, I told our guys what we're looking to do here. The way that I define it by having really good people is like I have two toddlers at home, right? I have my little Luca and my little Miles, and they're 5 and 3 years old. So the way I evaluate before I look at any young man as a basketball player, the first thing I do through the recruiting process and through conversations with them and in watching the way they interact is I say, would I want this young man around my toddlers? And if the answer to that is no, then I don't want them to be a part of the program, and I don't want them to be at Colby-Sawyer. So to answer your question, the first thing that we do is we make sure that we have good people. We start there. That's our baseline. And then we start evaluating how they are going to help us win basketball games and how they're going to help us on the floor.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. Because I feel like a lot of coaches also, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like when you go from different levels, sometimes your philosophy changes. And how do you make sure that doesn't change as you are coaching these different levels and like age groups?
Yeah, I think that you have to make sure that you're not willing to sacrifice what you really believe in for wins, right? So like we're not going to just go out and jump into the transfer portal and bring in 10 guys out of the transfer portal that have incredible stats without talking to them, without doing a deep dive into talking to their teachers, to talking to their parents, to talking to their coaches. We are not going to sacrifice having good people in here for wins. I would rather lose with really good people. It's really important to me that when these young men graduate, that they go on to be great ambassadors for the college, that they're great people, and that when they're out in the world, people go, well, that's a really great young man, and he just happened to graduate from Colby-Sawyer. Now, hopefully we win a lot of games along the way. Having a great person is one piece of it. We obviously have to have good basketball players. We want to win. I'm extremely competitive. I don't want to sacrifice any of that as well. But there has to be both. You have to have good people that work hard, and we have to obviously have some good basketball players as well.
Yeah, that's very understandable. So I guess leading into my next question, how will you define success being as this is your first season back?
Yeah, it's a really good question. The first thing is that I want to make sure our alums are extremely involved with what we're doing here. They are such a huge piece of this program in this college. Most of us played for one coach, Bill Fody, who was here for 28 or 29 years, and most of those guys, if not all, would tell you the same thing that I'm telling you about how he just had such an incredible impact on all of us, and we all feel really tied in, even though the past 28 years of guys didn't play together. Most of us are still really close because we played for Bill. And so the first way I would define success is that those alums feel like they're back in completely entrenched in this program. We're working on setting up a mentoring program where if we have a young man on the team who's interested in business, I have him hooked up with someone who is really doing well in that field, who's played basketball here. And we have a lot of alums that are doing really great things. So that would be the first piece of it. The second piece of it would be that going into the middle of this year, into the start of next year, that we make sure that we've done just that we have great people right across the board, people that our alums can be proud of, people that the school can be proud of. And then the third thing is that we've continued to build 1% every single day, that we feel like we're getting better every single day. Right now, I'm not trying to get so much caught up in every win and every loss, but are we improving? Are we raising that bar every single day? Are we doing everything at an elite level? And then the last piece of that is really in like 10 years, I can tell you how successful this program has been, because then I can tell you what type of young men we've had that have gone on, what type of dads are they, what type of husbands are they, where are they working? So true success of this year is really not defined until down the road when we look back or we look ahead and we say, what are these guys doing now? How have I helped them grow? And that's really the only way that I know how to do it, because that's what was done for me here when I was, 19 or 20-year-old Shannon really needed that. And Coach Fody gave it to him, and I learned that along the way. I've been really fortunate to work with some other coaches along the way through my journey. And, I know no other way than to just completely dump it into my players like that.
Yeah. Well, I really like that a lot, and I'm really excited for you guys' season this year. I can't wait to be either commentating or cheering on the sidelines. So I appreciate you for coming in this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and that is all for today. Keep grinding, keep pushing, and stay game ready, Chargers.